Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another awesome episode of Kicking It with Casca. I've got my good pal Mal here with me today. Mal pal, how's it going, girl?
Hey everybody, welcome back. I have my shoes on ready to rock and roll.
I love it. She's ready to kick it. And today we have a treat for you because we have one of the school counselor finalists from Kansas with us today.
Whoop,
We have
whoop.
Sawyer Ptacek. Did I say that right?
You did, yes.
Awesome. Okay, she's from Russell, and she's actually at a senior high school. But we found out as I was digging through these pictures of the finalists, I'm looking at, I'm like, wait, I know this lady. I know that lady. And so I found out that Sawyer's aunt was my sixth grade English teacher.
No way. I
Yeah.
love a small world.
And then Dr. Ryan your godmother?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so Dr. Ryan was my PE teacher and basketball coach. Another fun fact about Dr. Ryan, wasn't she on the first women's basketball team at K-State? Yeah, so
She was.
she is like a legend in the basketball world.
That is so
In Kansas.
cool.
And Jordan, her cousin, and I are legends at Chapman Middle School for getting in trouble.
Of course.
She and I would get in trouble all of the time after school because there was a ramp that led up to the library. And
Hmm.
we would wait until the librarian and the computer teacher left, and we would get out the wheelie chairs and we would zoom down the ramp. And oh man, we got in trouble quite a bit. But other than that, we both turned out being counselors. So I don't know what that says. A little honoriness maybe goes a long way in the counseling world.
Yep. Serves us well.
It does. So, Sawyer, I love that we are connected in so many ways. Tell us a little bit first about what is it like working at a junior senior high? So you've got middle and high school. What levels
Hmm.
do you have? 6 through 12?
We have 7 through 12.
7 through 12. Okay, what is that like? Because Malpal and I are elementary. We've got no clue.
Yeah. This is actually our first year being a junior senior high.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Before we had a middle school that was 6 through 8, and then our high school was 9 through 12. And then our sixth grade went to our upper elementary school this year, and our seventh and our eighth grade came over to our 912 building. So it's been a pretty big transition this year.
Kind of like a learning year. So where were you previous? Which building were you at?
I was in the high school. I was 912.
Okay, so you were high school and then now they've come over and now you're all together. So has that been a
Yes.
big shift for you?
Yes. Before I was high school, I was elementary. So I had K through 6 for a couple years. And then I had one year where I had seventh and eighth grade, like one day a week, they would have me go over and do something. But I wasn't there very often. I just did like a lesson with them one day a week with all seventh and eighth grade, which was pretty hectic. And then I came here and I was 9 through 12 for a couple years. So this is my first year, I think, really having seventh and eighth grade, like really being their counselor.
Gosh, so what do you find is the biggest difference between your middle schoolers and your high schoolers?
You took
Because
the
I know in
question right
elementary,
out of my mouth. I
oh,
love
I was
it.
gonna say, because in elementary, like we've got kindergartners and well, I have kindergartners and sixth graders, and there is like a huge difference, but at
Huge,
the same time,
huge.
not a lot.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of similarities, I think, between the seventh and the eighth grade and the 9 through 12. But sometimes I would say like the biggest one is just maturity. Like with the high school kids, you can have the conversation of, okay, well, this is what's going on. Like, let's problem solve. Let's find some things to do. Sometimes with the seventh and eighth graders, I've noticed it's more of, well, I'm gonna do this no matter what you say because I'm not there yet.
Because my brain isn't quite as developed, and I'm all about me, darn it.
Yes.
And I can't
Yes.
think 5 steps down the road yet. I love that.
Cannot.
That is awesome. Oh, that's too funny. Our good friend Nick is at a middle school too, and I think he would probably describe things in a similar fashion. So, as mostly high school, you're dipping the toe in the middle school a little bit. What's your favorite part about being with your high school students?
I think like just being able to have like a real conversation with them. Like not that you can't do that at the elementary level because you can, but sometimes it's more through like play or, doing a story and then getting to that part. With the high school kids, it's like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're just going to go. We're going to have a conversation.
I like that. What
Just
about
kind
the
of
middle
jump
schoolers
into
then?
it. Yeah.
The middle school is similar. Sometimes it's like I said, it's a little bit more of a roundabout way of getting there, but they've been really fun this year. Like they're I've noticed they're very complimentary. So
Oh,
I'm like, if I ever need to feel good, I'm like, I gotta go find some middle school girls because
That's amazing.
yes, they will
Queens
tell
helping
you.
queens.
are they?
But
Oh, go ahead.
sometimes they go the other way too, where it's like, okay, that probably should have stayed in your head, not come out loud. But most of the time, they're pretty complimentary, and they're like, "Oh, I love your shirt. I love your shoes." Like, guys, you're making me feel good about myself today.
Are they using all the fun terminology right now? Oh, you're looking so demure. You're very mindful.
Yes,
Ah,
You
yes,
look Riz.
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot.
well, you should tell them that you are like the Sigma Rizzler counselor of Kansas,
I
because
did have one of them say that to me after we had our like awards ceremony where Lindsey Brown came. I did have it described that way.
that is awesome. So
That's a great way to describe it.
talk a little bit about what was your celebration like? Like what happened? How did you find out that you were a finalist?
I had no idea,
Love
but
that.
I guess everybody knew but me. My family all knew. My the people I work with all knew, and so I think it was on a Monday morning, and we had gotten this email like the night before from our assistant principal saying, "Okay, here's like our week at a glance. Monday or tomorrow we're gonna have an assembly, short assembly from this time to this time." And then it had the rest of the day schedule. So I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't know we were having an assembly. But I got there, did the morning kind of like normal. And then it was assembly time. So they made an all call that, okay, you guys all you're dismissed to go down to the gym. And so my office is like right across the hall from our AD's office. And I walked out with him and we were walking down the hall. I was like, what's this for? And he's like, well, we've been having some issues like with the bathrooms and things getting broken. And he's like, we're just going to address it with everybody. I was like, oh, okay, that tracks, I guess. So we walked all the way down. We were a very long hallway from where we are to the gym. And we get down there and our media teacher has like the camera set up in the doorway like to film. And I was like, we don't usually film these kind of assemblies. Like
After these bathrooms getting broken, like why are we filming this?
yeah, this is kind of like we're reprimanding. We don't usually film this for Bronco Media.
That
But then I saw Lindsey Brown walk in and I recognized her and I was like, okay, this isn't what you said. And our AD's over there, like, trying not to make eye contact with me.
What a
But
fun surprise.
it was a very fun surprise. So when I came in, um, my principal was out there and spoke, and he had Lindsey Brown with her, and all of our student body and staff were there. And then he brought out my family, which I had no idea that my husband hadn't gone to work that day, and that my family from out of town had come in. So I was like, what is going on?
that is awesome. What a great surprise.
That is amazing. And you kind of feel famous in a small town a little bit, don't you?
Yes,
Like all the
it,
kids are high-fiving you, your name's in the paper, your picture's in the paper.
yeah. Our high
So
school boys,
cool.
for the longest time, anytime they would like pass me in the hallway, they'd go, "We love our school counselor."
Oh, that's awesome.
And for middle school boys?
The
Girl, you
high school boys.
for high
The high
school
school
boys,
boys.
you must be
Yeah.
doing something right.
They're pretty funny. I enjoy them.
Well, speaking of doing something right, we've got to know what is your awesome sauce? Like, how did you get to this level of being a state finalist? Because that is a really, I don't know if anybody's told you that's a big deal. So there has to be something that you're doing different that sets you apart from the rest of the squad, or something that maybe we just don't know about.
Mm. I my biggest thing is what can we do to make school fun for kids?
Ooh, tell me
Like a
what.
a couple of years ago, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like Russell was in the news for having a very, very high, like chronic absenteeism rate. And so that got touched on in the news. Like it's been rough. We have kids that don't want to come to school. They don't like coming to school. We're in a rural community. So I've just really been like, okay, what can we do to make things fun for kids? I would say probably one of the biggest things that I've done um, at our building, it started when we were still 9-12 and it carried over. But there was one day that our two secretaries were going to be gone. And so me and our career advocate at the time, her name's Diana Bunker. She's amazing. Love her. She's now in Pratt. Miss her so much. But we were going to cover the office that day and we're like, we should just do something like really crazy and just like mix it up and have some fun. And so we went out and we bought like all of these different kinds of like snacks and treats and drinks. And we just came in that morning and we laid them all out on the counter. And we found this website for like random name spinner
Oh
wheels.
yeah, the random name generator. Oh yeah.
Yes. So we put every student's name in a wheel and we put every staff member's name in a separate wheel. And so at the beginning of every hour, like right when the bell would ring, we would get on, we'd play some music, we would have like a funny thing that we would say. Our AD came in and he's a pretty funny guy. He had some humor that he used, and we would spin each wheel, and a student and a staff member would come down and could pick whatever prizes that we had on the counter that we bought. And it was just like a really fun day. We'd never done that before. And the only thing we said is like, okay, if you're present at school today, your name's on the wheel. You have a chance of winning.
Heck
And
What a great idea and
yeah.
something so simple.
yeah, and it was just like we figured it out the night before. It was totally out of the blue. We're like, and it was in like mid-January, maybe early February. So it's kind of like that long stretch, like after
Uh-huh.
Christmas break where it's hard.
Yeah.
And we had so many like students come up and were like, can we do this every Friday? Because it was a Friday, so we called it Friday Fun Day. And we're like, we can't really afford to do it every Friday. We spent like quite a bit of money on buying all these treats, but it was fun. It was worth it. But we're like, can't really afford to do it every Friday. But then we had teachers come in and we're like, can we do this more often? Like this, it wasn't very disruptive. We loved it. The kids loved it. And we kind of said the same thing, like, we would love to do it more often. It's just, we would have to find a way to fund it. And we had teachers right then say, send up a sign up sheet. Like, we will sign up to
Oh, yes.
sponsor days to do this.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so ever since then, that would have been last year or the year before. We last year is when it started. And so ever since then, we've had a sign up sheet. This year, with the middle school coming over, that was a question we asked at the beginning of the year like, hey, we've done this. Is this something you want to keep? Is it something you want to get rid of? And they're like, no, we've heard about this. We want to experience it. So we had teachers sign up right from the beginning of the year. We had almost all our days covered. We have an organization called Communities for Classroom that does fundraisers, and then they give all that money back to school or teacher-based projects here in our community. And they sponsored every Friday Fun Day for the rest of the year.
Oh,
Whoa.
And
cool.
yeah, so we've been able to add like a middle school wheel this year. So we have a seventh and eighth grade wheel, we have a high school wheel, we have a staff wheel, and then with Communities for Classrooms coming in and helping, plus the teachers who still wanted to sponsor and bring things, we've added like another wheel that we can spin to do two more winners of students who haven't had any tardies for the week.
Oh,
Ooh.
So
cool. Amp it up a
if you,
little bit.
I love.
yes, if you don't have any tardies, you have double the chance of winning.
Ooh. How fun is that? So, have you seen attendance? Have you seen anything get better there?
On some days, yes. I notice it's better like when we announce it or like, hey, remember this Friday is a Friday fun day. Like we've had some senior boys especially who just the senioritis, they have like a first hour class or they're taking like an online college class or they roll in kind of late. And so they'll come in and be like, I told them one day, I'm like, hey, you won first hour, but you weren't here. So we had to spin again. I'm like, oh, can I still get my prize? I'm like, no,
That's not how
the
it works,
only
man.
rule, we have one rule, and it's that you have to be present to win. That's it.
You just gotta
So
be.
they, yeah, so they've made it more of a point to, oh, if, is it going to be a Friday fun day? Because I'm going to be here.
So do you do this every Friday? Mallory and I are wondering when we should come out to Wrestle
I
because
was gonna say, how
we
can
put
we
our
make
names
this
on the
happen?
wheel.
Because we want to be
We,
present to win.
yeah, come on out. We'll put your name on the staff wheel. Be
Perfect. And we will be
honorary.
on time because we want to get that no tardy
Yeah,
extra bonus. That's awesome. Well,
that's,
that's so fun. Do you have any other tips for making school fun? Because that's an awesome one. Easy. Love it.
hmm
Well, and I love that
I,
you've gotten the outreach program to help too with the finances. There are so many people that want to help, they just don't know
hmm
how. So,
Mhm.
how
yeah.
cool to get them involved too.
We've even had like our booster club this year. They reached out, they've sponsored two of them because we do this every other Friday. So we have quite a few of them throughout the year. Our Booster Club sponsored one. Our Rotary Interact Club has taken on one. Stuco still wants to do one in the spring. So before it was just kind of counselors, a few teachers, and now it's a lot of people making sure that
You
this
started the
continues to
wave. You,
happen.
you started the fun wave. Okay, but I think the hot topic question is Hannah and I are on pins and needles. What's the most popular thing that they pick?
Oh, the best snack.
Oh, that's a good question.
My
Usually we
guess is
always,
probably talkies, but that's just what
well,
my kids would pick.
usually if they win, like we always have a drink option almost always. There's a drink option, there's a salty snack option, and a sweet treat option. So you usually leave the office with three things. Um, Drinks, they almost always go for Dr. Pepper.
Oh, the
That is the most.
physician.
DP.
Hmm. Yep, that's the go-to for drinks. Probably followed by Gatorade. That's the
Gotta
next one.
hydrate. Gotta hydrate.
Yeah. We have a teacher who, the days that she's sponsored, she does a lot of like baking in her free time.
Ooh.
Actually, we have a teacher and then another counselor. Our other counselor has a cookie business. So the ones that she sponsors, she's brought in like her signature cookies. So those have been a pretty hot commodity on those Friday fun days
That's
that kids are like,
awesome. I want a
I want to
cookie.
win.
Teachers are probably like, I want to win on those days.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Our
and you're
booster club
building.
had,
Oh, go ahead. So sorry.
sorry. Our booster club had Sonic gift cards when they sponsored before breaks. So that was a big deal
That's the Midwestern way of saying I love you.
It's
for
true.
sure.
We love a Route 44. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, I love that this is like also, I feel like it sounds that it's bringing everyone together. They're excited about it. You're all pumped up about Friday. You probably have a really good buzz feeling going on in the building on Fridays. And kids
Mhm.
probably feeling like they just got on The Price is Right, right? They're like running down to the office to collect
Yes,
their.
we've sometimes from the office you can hear like kids because we have a lot of like long hallways in our building of how it's split up. And so like you can sometimes hear them coming from the gym, which is the farthest one this way, and they'll be like cheering and like teachers sometimes will bring their whole class down when they win. Like we have a teacher who if he wins, he brings his class and he brings his like little portable speaker and he'll play like all I do is win or we are the champions or something
That
like
is
that.
perfect.
It's hilarious.
And I love how it's building that culture, that climate, that fun atmosphere because that is what it's all about. And a lot of people crave that. And
Mhm.
so
Hmm.
something as small of what you have started has made it into such a fun event that so many people look forward to. Way to go. That's awesome.
And the
Thank
fact that
you.
it's encompassing everybody. Sometimes we can get the kids all jazzed about something, but we can't do the adults, or vice versa. This is something
Hmm.
the whole building looks forward to, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, let's see here. We are about at time. So is there anything else, Sawyer, that you wanted to share with us? Any other awesome sauce of Russell Junior Senior High that you wanted to share? Anything that and it sounds like you have another counselor in your building, anything that you guys
Mhm.
do together? Just anything that would help. Practical tips are always great, like the one you shared.
Yeah, this is her name is Camry Stoppel. She was our middle school counselor last year, so this is our first year like being in the same building and kind of figuring out our different roles. So she does, the way we have it split is we're both 7th through 12th, but she does a little bit more of the like academic side of things, where I do more of the social emotional side of things. That way we're still getting to know all the students, interact with all the students. But we're doing some pretty cool things at Russell. I really like it here. I think we have a good staff. Like, I think the biggest thing is like finding ways to do things with the people around you. And so, like our kids last year, they started a random acts of kindness club. That was something that they really wanted to do. I told them, like, yes, if you guys want to do this, like, I'll be your sponsor. Let's get it going. And so, like, that's a big thing where, okay, what can we do this month that's going to be fun? Or what can we do with our Stuco so that, we're on the same page. We're doing something, they're doing something. How do we do this? Our FCCLA does a lot. And just working with the people around you and making sure that everybody's involved. We're making things fun. We're keeping it going.
It sounds fun. So what are some of the things that your Random Acts of Kindness Club are doing? I'm intrigued.
We started this year. One thing that's like high that's been high on their list is they want to do birthday treats for everybody. And we weren't able to start it this year just because we got our club like approved in the spring, and we had to do some fundraising activities in the fall. We had to work some concession stands because we had no money. So we worked concession stands. I was impressed with their willingness. They're like, "Can we do one of these every week?" I'm like, "Probably not every week. I do like going and watching the games, but I'm glad you guys are showing up for this." And our Random Acts of Kindness Club is a 7th through 12th grade club. So when our high school kids started it, that was one thing that they said, like, I think we should be open since they are coming over here, and that's created some hard feelings for some people. We should be open to having them join. So we are 7th through 12th grade. We meet once a week, and we've made up like what we're going to do with our plan for birthday treats next year. We're working on doing kindness cards. So we take a grade and we split everybody in that grade up into groups, and they go through and they make kindness cards and they put them in their lockers.
Fun.
Um, we did a kindness bingo on World Kindness Day where they could come, and they all got bingo sheets and could win prizes. We do music bingo a lot. That's a pretty big hit. They really like music bingo.
That is fun.
Oh, Hannah loves the music
I
bingo.
do love
She's really good at that.
Dingo
Yeah.
Gal right here. You betcha. That's way fun. Um, I love the note. So we had a group at my school called the Kindness Ninjas, and they would do sneaky acts of kindness. And the note cards reminded me of one thing that we did, maybe to give you an idea too. They
Hmm.
picked somebody because you guys like to call people down to the office over the intercom,
Hmm.
winning fun things. So we had everybody that was a kindness ninja. They wrote a note to somebody in the school. It had to be a kid. It could be
Hmm.
younger, it could be in their class, but they all wrote one note, and then we took them down to the office, and we had the secretaries, call Mallory Jacobs to the office, and she's like, "Oh no, what is this?" And so Mallory went down and she got her thing and she opened it, and they were just like, "This is for you," but we don't tell them who we are because we're ninjas, right? So it's an
Hmm.
kind note, and you don't know who you got it from. It's so cool. So that's
Yeah.
just an act of kindness that's fun that kids are like, what is happening? But then it's good. It's good stuff. But I
Yeah.
like
We
Well,
do We do something a little bit similar. We call it our Bronco leaders. And so we have these notepads that say Bronco leaders on them. It says like name, showed kindness, leadership by, nominated by. And so all of our staff members have one of those notepads. Like if you're a teacher, it's in your classroom. Everybody has one. And whenever they see a student like doing something kind or positive, they can write one of those and put it in my mailbox. And we recognize them about every 2 weeks. We'll call all of our Bronco leaders down and I'll have them all laid out. And we've partnered with our Sonic in town, and they give us these free medium drink coupons.
yeah,
And so when they get their Bronco leader, they also get a free medium drink coupon. We're like, hey, like, thanks for, and it can be anything like picking up trash in the lunchroom, help somebody who dropped their stuff. Just whenever you catch somebody doing something positive, like fill out a Bronco leader. Let's tell them, hey, we see you. You're doing great.
that's the
that
bomb.
is so cool. And I'm going to tell you girls something. We did that when I was in middle school in Holton, and they call it getting kicked. So they spun it in a fun way. And I
Mhm.
will tell you, I still have my chain link that one of the paraeducators wrote about me. Because you know how sometimes people just write, oh, saw them be nice to somebody, or they picked up the backpack. She wrote a novel on this thing. And I will tell you what you are doing, Sawyer, and with your school, people remember that. And they might still keep it in their smile file. They might keep it on their desk. So every single thing that you are doing is so impactful. And those kids are really going to thrive because of that. I love that. And it makes me have those warm fuzzies because it takes me back to seventh grade in Holton Middle School. So, way to go, sister.
Thank you.
I love that. Okay, Sawyer, we always end with a fun question.
Okay.
And now you've made me hungry for cookies. So, that's what I'm going to be doing later. If you could be a cookie, any kind of cookie in the world, maybe a cookie that we don't even know about, like a super cool kind, what would you be?
Double chocolate chip.
Oh, she didn't even need a second
Nope.
to think. She already knew. Double chocolate chip. I love that. Okay, tell us why.
I don't know. They're just my favorite cookie, especially like, I mean, we don't have a lot in Russell, but we do have a Subway and like their double chocolate chip cookies that you can get with their sandwich and they're so like soft and gooey. It's just that's my go-to cookie.
And have you ever had them like warm, like out of the oven from there?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up fire. All right, Hannah,
Delicious.
how about you, Queen?
Oh, I am my friend's grandma, Maureen Peterson, makes the best monster cookies. So
Mm.
I
Oh,
am a Grandma Mo monster cookie for sure.
that's amazing.
Got
Those sound
everything in it.
fantastic.
Right, it's got all the goods. It's got your peanut butter, it's got your oats, it's got your peanut butter M&Ms. It has everything you could want and more. I love it. How about you, my pal?
Peanut butter blossom. I
Ooh,
love me some peanut
solid.
butter and chocolate. And you don't get the chocolate in every bite, but if you do it strategically, you could. They're so good. And especially if you get them right out of the oven and put the little Hershey's chocolate kiss in there and it kind of melts. All right. I'm headed to the store and going to buy all of these ingredients because yum.
This is when I usually like at the beginning of the year when I do my counselor presentation with students, I always do like three truths and a lie, and I let them try to like figure out what thing is a lie about me. And one that I've incorporated before, and I it's very polarizing because kids think it's weird. I don't like peanut butter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know. So we
Whoa.
will not be
blows
sending
people's
peanut butter
minds.
blossoms your way.
Not for me.
Hey, but there's a good idea having Subway help with a cookie platter for those every other Friday things.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a good idea. That would be
And
so
then you
fun.
can sneak one of your double chocolate chip in there.
Yes, this is really for me, guys.
Somehow your name
Yeah,
got pulled that day. It's so weird.
well, that is weird. So fun. Well, Sawyer, you are amazing. Congratulations again. We are so proud of you. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
all that you do for students, your staff, your stakeholders, and other school counselors in Kansas.
Thank you.
You're
It's
crushing.
been an honor for sure.
Thank you for joining us. You're crushing it. You are a counseling queen, and we were so lucky to have you with us today. Thanks, Sawyer.
Thank you.